A bird sang this song to me. There was a message in its melody, sweetest lyrics that I ever heard. There's a message in the songs of birds. He said, tomorrow is another day, but living is the only way that tomorrow's gonna ever come. Listen to the words of the song. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be.
Greetings and welcome to A Sip of Inspiration. I'm Stephanie Wilson-Coleman, your host, known as the Empowerment Doctor. In the last segment, we did marketing your business for under $100. And in that segment, we only spent $25, $30. So we are going to spend the rest of that money today. What I discovered was a lot of people have dreams in their heart about starting a business, but most never get started because they're told how expensive it is. They're told that you shouldn't start unless you have all this money saved. While some of that is true at some point, if you actually wait to get started while all of the research is done, you will never be able to enter the arena of being a business owner. So here today, I will show you how to at least get started marketing your business for under $100. Now, in part one, we discussed various techniques. We're going to recap a few of those. Hosting your website. That could cost anywhere from $0 to $10. Social media distribution, because you do have to post in the social media, but you don't have to post all of them separately. You can use a social media distribution machine, which is anywhere from $0 to $10 a month. And then you can do a blog. And remember, we described a blog as being just a column or an article that talks about what you do so that people are able to actually see and hear what's going on. The seeing part can be done for free in Blogspot, can be done in Blogger, Medium, and Easings. And the hearing part is where you take your handy dandy smartphone and you simply tape a video. You tape a video about what you want to talk about, and then you upload it to Facebook, but be sure you upload it to Instagram and YouTube, because YouTube is the hottest thing going right now. We also talked a little bit about business cards, and there are sites where you can create your business card and choose already set up graphics for under $20. And you can get 1,000 business cards sent to you for that. Also, we talked about quote cards and graphics, and there are software programs that will allow you to be able to use them for free to create quote cards and graphics, and some of those are Canva or Quizio. And that was just the beginning. All of that, and you've only spent $25. So I want you to get a pencil and paper. As always, you need to do that when you watch this show. And we're going to get busy helping you spend the remaining of that money, which is $75. I know, I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. So while you're getting that pencil and paper, we're going to take a break. We're going to go to a few commercials to allow you to get settled in, and we'll be right back.
Jason, will you run to town and get me some things?
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah, sure, Madison, let's go.
Okay, be careful. Buckle up.
We will.
Jason, Mom said to buckle up.
I'll be fine. We're not even going that far. Besides, the truck has an airbag.
Okay, be careful. Buckle up.
We have one fatality.
10-4, I copy that.
Madison! I don't understand. She was wearing her seatbelt.
The victim was struck by the driver not wearing his seatbelt.
talking about? Why don't you say it to my face?
What are you talking
Why don't
about?
you ever think about mine?
While every relationship has its problems, couples tend to forget who's watching. Next time things get heated, pay attention to who's around. Don't make your problems their problems.
I'm Gary Sinise. You may know me as Lieutenant Dan from the movie Forrest Gump or as the bass player in the Lieutenant Dan Band. I've had the honor to meet many of our soldiers and veterans. It's a sad fact that some of our warriors, some of our nation's finest citizens, are wasting their lives through suicide. Suicide is not the answer. It's final. It robs you of your chances for a better life and brings pain and heartbreak to your loved ones. You don't have to go it alone. VA cares about you. VA is reaching out to veterans who are thinking about suicide. So reach back now. Don't wait. Call 1-800-273-TALK and press 1. Our counselors will not share your information with anyone. Thousands of veterans have had the courage to call. How about you? Call 1-800-273-TALK and press 1.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Greetings and welcome back to A Sip of Inspiration. I'm Stephanie Wilson-Coleman, the Empowerment Doctor, and your instructions prior to the break were to be sure that you had pencil and paper so that you could take notes. As I mentioned in the opening, a lot of people have a dream in their heart to start a business. And the significance of that is the dream has to be in your heart and not in your brain, because when things aren't going well, it's that feeling and emotions that's generated by the heart that will help you stick with it. So during the first show, between the time that show aired and this show, you should have already made contact with either your local business development centers, your procurement technical assistance centers, or SCORE, or even the SBA, in order to discuss the actual business plan, the marketing plan, and the finance plan for your business. That is your roadmap, and all of those agencies will help you create that roadmap for absolutely no charge. There's also the SCORE organization, who is filled with retired executives that do this for free. They were previous business owners, and some of them still are business owners, and they will help you with that roadmap. So now you've got your website, you have your social media hosting going on, you've got YouTube videos all over the place, and you got some business cards and some marketing. Now, we've got to talk about finance. I did have a question to come in that says, well, what do I do about accounting? And the accounting systems are very expensive. Well, in my research, I discovered several accounting systems that are not expensive at all. And there is one in particular that is no charge. So you still got $75. That no charge accounting system is called Wave, and it's set up for small businesses only, with employees with 10 or less people, and it has invoicing. You can take credit cards, you can actually take ACH payments and post them through that accounting system. So that is incredibly good for you to know. Now, if you grow out of that system, there are other systems that you can get online that range anywhere from $9 to $12 a month. And of course, once you're rolling, then you're going to have to spend a lot more money on your accounting system. So accounting systems can be very difficult to set up, but they don't have to be. Wave is one that's incredibly easy to set up. It gives you templates that you can use, and you can replace the information or the templates with your information, so that that chart of accounts that you get and how you post your money is tailored to your business. Now, You're sitting there saying, well, what about an accountant? What about a CPA? At first, you won't need one, but you will need one, in which case by then you should be making some money so that you can afford to pay that. Now, I can get you started for $100, but at some point down the road, you will have to spend more money than $100, but you don't have to spend more to have a presence. Also, there was a question about office space. Well, in today's society, there's no expectation that you will have a brick and mortar building. So a lot of things can be done online and they can be done virtually. You can have video conferences virtually. Zoom and free conferencing have free video set up for you so that you can teach classes and have webinars. Now, the amount of minutes you get is maybe not a lot, but they're anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes, and I think you can teach anything within 60 to 90 minutes. Also, you can have free conference calls themselves, so you can set up conference calls through numbers that will only charge what your current communication company's charges. So we've got you started, you've got going, you know what to do, you know how to do it. And the next thing we have to talk about in detail is what makes you different from the next guy, and how do you communicate your difference? So, let's say you're selling wrenches. Well, what makes your wrench better? So you've got to develop a tagline that describes what you do so that people can get a visual picture of how you do what you do. And when you're marketing and reaching out to customers, remember they're real people and they like the story behind it. So you've got to be able to use words that will help them feel the benefit of the product, feel why your weight loss product is different, feel why your transportation solution is a better transportation solution. So you need to come up with questions that will help you with any objections that they may have. And if it's money or if your product is pretty pricey, you've got to help them understand why your product is worth the extra money. So now we've got $85, just about anywhere between $75, $85 left, depending upon how much of that you were able to use for free and how much of that you decided that you actually liked one of the minimal cost solutions. And when I say minimum cost at the beginning, keep it at a minimum cost. One of the things that small businesses often try to do is everything. They want to do everything at once. So let's don't do everything. Let's just do 2 or 3 or 4 things. And in your business plan, you need to think about what's the most important thing you can do? What's the easiest thing you can do? And figure out how much it's going to cost you to do those things, because now that's when you get into spending that extra money. So let's say that you have a product. Can you sell it if it's a paper or a book or a training class? You can sell that as an MP3, MP4. You can sell it as PDF. So in that case, if it's a PDF, you can take the Word document that you have and create it into a PDF for free now. But then you've got to house it and host it someplace for people to be able to download it. So that will cost you a little money. However, depending upon the size space, you can get a lot of free services to host documents to start with. Amazon has one that's free. eJunkie has one that's free. And then as they get bigger, then you would pay more money. Now, let's say it's MP3 or MP4. There is free conversion software now that will take your telephone video, which is usually an MOV file, and help you convert that into an MP3 file. MP4. Who'd have known? Free conversion software. So you use that conversion software in order to convert it. Now, if you want people to download it there too, you're going to have a place to house that. And depending upon the size of the video, you may not be able to do that for free, but you still shouldn't spend any more than about $10 for space. And that will allow the whole world to download that. So now we've spent $45, $50. So you've got $50 more left. I would spend that last $50 on the marketing end of it, because you have to hit the market. You have to find your tribe, as we say these days. You've got to find your niche. Who are your customers? What demographics are you going to market to? Because maybe your product fits well with 24-year-old, 30-year-old people. If that's the case, you've got to figure out how to find those people. And that in itself may cost you a little bit of money. Then, let's say you find them and you know that their zip code that they're in, and you want to do a mailing. Now that's where you're spending the rest of your money in the mailings that you do in order to reach your customers and clients. So to help us with that, I've asked an expert on the show. So I've asked Denise Thomas, who is a marketing professional, to join us to talk just about marketing, different ways to market, some of the pitfalls, some of the definite do's, and some of the definite don'ts. Because if you don't have a real good marketing plan or idea, you can go broke marketing and not sell a single item. So with that, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we will get a chance to talk to Denise Thomas.
How many letters?
5 letters.
Just think about, what am I doing right now?
Smile. Smile?
Uh-huh. This is so easy.
Everyone deserves respect. People are more than what they seem.
More than they act. More than they dress.
They have stories.
History, a past, a future.
They're human just like you.
And they deserve respect.
Online.
And off. Respect has no exceptions.
It is more than necessary.
It is required.
It should never be an issue.
Respect comes in 2 unchangeable steps: giving it and receiving it.
Greetings and welcome back to A Sip of Inspiration. I'm Stephanie Wilson-Coleman, the Empowerment Doctor, and I am your host for today's show. I promised you a marketing guru, and we got her, yes. Joining me on today's show is Denise Thomas. Denise has a cool name for her marketing business. I really love that. Dream Art Productions?
Yes.
Gosh, how did you come up with the name?
Well, you know, it's the one thing that it's always so easy for me because it's something that I always dream of. People say, you must stay awake at night thinking of certain little things or marketing strategies or whatever. And so when I started to think of the name for the company, it was like Dream Art. It was like, for me, I'm passionate about it, and it's not work for me. It's just a natural thing that I do in terms of working with different organizations, community relations groups, and things like that, and it just all came together. So Dream Art Productions became the name of the company.
Oh, that's fantastic. And as you all are listening and looking at the show, she said it wasn't work to her, meaning it's that heart connection that I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And it's that heart connection that keeps you going when things don't seem to go well. Because even though we can give you great tips on how to do your business, it's not going to always be up like this. Sometimes it's going to go shroom, and then it's going to go like that, like that, like that, and then shroom back up. So it's like this part down here that you have to have that heart connection.
Sure, and you know what, that's actually a good thing, and because people always think once they develop something they're going to get all these positive results, but the good thing about that is that even if you don't get all of the results that you want, you can come back to the table and say, okay, now what did I learn from this? You always want to keep asking yourself that question, what happened here? Okay, so was this part worked good, and then this part maybe didn't work so good? So when you get ready to go for your next endeavor or your next launch or your next marketing blitz or whatever you want to do, you say, you know what, going after that target audience wasn't really where we got a lot of good feedback from, so you know that you want to kind of aim your direction there. And that's what big corporations do all the time, this trial and error, until they get a winning formula, and then voila, there you have it, brand development.
Just like that.
Just like that.
So this is the second part of the series on how to market for $100, and I think we've successfully spent all the $100 on the easy things to do. So we talked about website hosting, which can be from free to $10.
Sure.
We talked about business cards. Now you can get those for under $20.
Yes.
Social media distribution automation tools, which I know Hootsuite, is free up to 3. And then so we've covered all of that. And we sent them to their local business development centers so that they could get a business plan.
Sure.
But now we know that plan doesn't sell itself.
Exactly.
That website doesn't sell itself.
No.
That book, that paper, whatever doesn't sell itself.
Exactly.
So now comes the marketing part.
Exactly.
So how do you get it started?
Well, you know, it's interesting you bring that up because I was at a dinner party recently and I was sitting next to someone and I was talking about some alumni. I'm part of an alumni group from my high school, and I said, oh, we're going to do something. He said, oh, I'm in marketing. And I said, oh, you are? So of course right away, you know, the passion comes up, and I said, what is it that you do? And he was saying, well, I do marketing of I do t-shirts and I do imprint. And I said, oh, what markets are you going after? He said, I'm going, so I target, you know, a lot of those schools, high schools, elementary schools. He said, but I also have interest in doing the religious. So you have two different areas. So I said, well, so right away, me as the brand development person, I'm doing an analysis. I said, so where are you at? So I'm asking do you have a website? He says, well, no, I don't have a website. Okay, I said, well, are you on Facebook? He said, well, I'm on Facebook. I said, no, I mean, is your product on Facebook? And he said, no. So right away, one thing you talked about earlier, having the independent website is good, but the goal is to be able to utilize some resources that are there for you. Facebook has a business side to it as well, and some people may have seen that or not, but it's actually a free resource that's there for many candidates. Building a business Facebook page, you can do everything from whether you're doing nails or whether you're selling t-shirts or you're providing a service or you're an agency or you're a barber, a beauty salon, whatever it is, whatever the service is that you want to market, you can set up a Facebook page to do that. The goal is is, though, once you set the Facebook page up, you have to be able to build an audience to come there. And then once you build the audience, then you have to engage the audience. So the party is like, I always tell people, just imagine this is where the party's at. Everybody wants to go to a party where everybody's at, even if there's just standing room only. That's the party everybody wants to go to, right?
Okay.
Like, oh, it's so crowded, I got to stand in line to get in. Yeah, but you still want to stand in line because that's where the party's at. So right now, Facebook is definitely where the party's at, Instagram as well. So you want to be where the party's at, and you want people standing in line. So we have to be able to understand how that social medium works. You already maybe have a personal Facebook page, so you want to build your business page, and then you invite your friends to come and say, hey, look at my business. You have an open house, if you will, and then ask them to invite 10 more of their friends. And so then there's this domino effect. You have so on and so on and so on before you know it. But then once you have that page built, you can't just leave it there. You can't just say, okay, it's like having a party and then you don't bring any refreshments or nothing to offer your guests.
Okay.
You have to engage them, right?
Right.
You got a good party always has something going on. It's got, some entertainment.
Right.
It's got some education offerings. So these are the things that you want to bring to your Facebook page, because why do I want to come to your page? Because every time I see something coming from you, I know, oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's from Stephanie Wilson-Coleman. She's doing something else. I want to make a note to come to that event. So that's what that concept's all about, is engaging the audience and then continuing to do that, especially at peak times.
Oh, cool. So now I think that's wonderful. You're right. It's got to be a party.
It's got to be a party.
It's got to be something exciting happening.
Yes.
There, all the time, or at key times. So
exactly.
If they know, every month you do something, or quarterly you're going to do this big thing, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, that's definitely where you want to be at. And the thing about it is, this is what corporate America does.
Okay.
So if we can always take a note from corporate America, because they're the ones that are doing all this. When I was working on my master's, I remember reading a study that I think it was one of the big, I don't want to give them credit, but anyway, a big brand manager decided they were going to do like a little giveaway, and they asked everybody if they would come to their Facebook page and click on it, and they would get a bag of chips or something for free. They got over 200,000 participants just by doing that one little stunt. And so then what did they do? Because once you get people to come to that page, you also now have a following, and if you engage that base, they'll continue to see your information, and eventually what that's going to lead into is the sales that you want. So that's how marketing plays that integral role.
So you clicked on the chip, you probably got a coupon to download.
Exactly.
To go into the store to get the chips. 200,000 people clicked on it. And probably only 10,000 actually redeem their coupon.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. But that's the passion behind it. If somebody came up with that idea and they said, hey, how about if we, and they could, of course they can afford it. How about if we give away, a bag of chips? People always want something free, whatever it is that you can offer, whether it's a consult or whether it's a, actual physical touch feel type thing. So they like that. So when you say free, they want to go for it. And so everybody came and they clicked, and the next thing they know, boom, what did they just do? So now, of course, every month they'd have another one that they do.
Right.
So we did that brand, and then so this is a way for them, number one, to increase brand awareness for that one product, and then go to another brand that they felt needed a little bit of a boost.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea. And there is a tool online that has a free version, Raffle Torque, I think it is, where you can actually raffle things and then connect it to your website and all of that. That's a fairly free tool for people who aren't comfortable in building things. They built it, you just put your stuff out there and put the code on your website or on Facebook.
There are so many different things, even within Facebook, since I've become a social media manager, that I've learned independently on my own. But it's there, all you have to do is type in, how do I conduct an advertising campaign? And then they'll send you to or give you information. Well, now you have to take time to read it.
Right.
That's what one thing we sometimes don't like to do. We don't want to read. We want everything just to jump right out at us. But sometimes we have to sit down and kind of read it for a minute and figure out, oh, okay. Or either talk to somebody who can help you understand it better so that you can analyze what it is that you're about to do. But the information is right there for the asking, and it's all free.
So for an entrepreneur who has very little money, two instances, one, now, and t-shirt people, I think, kind of have a niche market because People love T-shirts.
They do. They really do. Yes.
So if you can do a T-shirt, I mean, I think you can get that thing done. And they got all kind of companies now that will print on demand. It used to be you had to house product, but now you can print 2 or 3 for some commission.
Everybody wants to get into that. I mean, every small, even the big promotional companies, they'll have an outlet. In many cases, they simply outsource that out to somebody else, but they're always offering you that option to be able to print things like that. But what's so great about the social media is that, say, for example, we were talking about the $100 budget. So let's say, for example, if you want to take $20 of that budget and you decide, okay, I want to do a promotional campaign. I want people to know that I'm selling T-shirts and that I have a great new offer for all of the elementary schools who are going to be having 8th graders graduate, and you want to put something out there, especially like during prom season and during the graduation season. There's always a big influx of opportunities there, right?
Right.
So you really want to get your name out there. So you can...
And not to mean to interrupt you, but she's seeing this stuff, guys, and I'm saying, yeah, right, I know. I hadn't thought about any of that, okay? So.
See, that's what I do. This is why it's Dream Art Productions, because these things just happen to me all the time. I just always kind of...
So yeah, let's continue. Prom and graduation.
So prom, graduation. So this is a big opportunity for seasons for everybody, from T-shirt people to makeup artists to people who do hair and nails. And you've seen some of the elaborate the final productions of many of these events.
My God.
So there's lots of opportunities for people to kind of get their work out there and get their name out there. But how do you do that? So taking a small budget, creating a small ad, if you will, that you can promote, and you want to pick your market. Say if you want to just stay in the south side of Chicago, or you want to do in the south suburban area, you can pick and choose what market you want to target, and then you can build your ad together with your own work, or you can put in clip art, and then what is it, your message that you want to say. You can say, hey, give me a call for a free demo, or whatever it is that you want to do. If you're a DJ, you may want to, say, hey, I'm a great DJ. I've got great discount prices for all the graduates. I mean, lots of opportunities to do things there. And you, for $20 a day, for a budget of $20, you can spend $1 a day and it'll rotate through the feed of all the different people that are in a certain market. So, and then you can get the results and see how many likes you got and how many interactions you were able to get with that one particular ad.
So should you keep, in the Facebook ad, should you keep your demographic choices small, or should you just go all out?
I think it depends on how, like if you're in the south suburban area, you may want to spread out because towns are small and you can just kind of go from one to the other to the other. But you know the areas maybe where you seem to get people coming from, even where you have people that maybe clients already that they live and they come there, demographic areas where you're familiar with.
Oh, that is so cool, because you're right. Facebook ads, they always got a thing in your feed about learn how to do it right.
On the side, you see it on the side. If you were clicking on a particular, say, like a retail store, and you were looking at, say, some shoes or whatever, and the next thing you didn't buy the shoes, and you clicked it with somewhere. Next thing you know, you see that on the side. You know why? Because they're doing that same thing. They're saying they have you've already clicked on like, they know you're there, and now you're back on Facebook, and they want to just remind you, hey, don't forget about these shoes you were looking at. Hello, we're right here. And it does actually, and it'll keep rotating all the time.
Now, the hottest thing going seems to be now YouTube video ads. So how does that work? And is it really working, or is that just hype?
Well, you know what? It does work, but it works for certain things. I mean, I've gone to YouTube if I wanted to know, like, how to install a cable thing inside of my DVD player or whatever. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure, like, what cord should I be using? Is this the right cord? They all look the same, So I've gone to that. So I like that, and a lot of young people have taken to it because they have an art for maybe you'll see a lot of makeup artists that are doing it. A lot of people doing hair. A lot of people have a special skill, and they want to be able to show that they can do that. And so again, I've talked to some hairstylists and they say, oh, well, I have a website. And I say, well, how's your website doing? Because the purpose of the website is to drive someone who needs to see something more detailed that they're not seeing. And then there's sometimes, in many cases, a fee associated with that. So you could drive someone just to go to your YouTube video inside your Facebook page to see a how-to video. And in many cases, you can put a video inside your Facebook page as well now. So you have all those capabilities right in there. But it's good for, how-tos, demonstrations, sometimes, because they can get a little lengthy or whatever. But if you just want to kind of know some quick information about something, a lot of people like to go in and give a review on a product they've used. They'll tell you that if they've tried a particular brand of something and how well it worked and what did they do. So a lot of different how-to do's I find are good. But again, you got to get a following, people who want to come, and see that. But a lot of people will create that because they feel there'll be a need for that. Like if you're having a big thing now with makeup is eyebrows. People want to see, how do I really do my eyebrows well? How do I really get a different look? But there's so much competition out there, so.
Oh yeah, and
eyebrows
are a big thing.
People don't understand.
Eyebrows and eyelashes are really a big thing for the guys watching. Okay? It's really a big thing.
They don't get it. They
just don't get it. Right. What about businesses that don't lend themselves well to the party in the basement, like construction, IT companies? And even inspirational companies and motivational companies.
Sure. Well, you know what? Everybody has their niche. Again, you want to try to be able to reach out to where you think your audience is. Say for a construction company, homeowners, you want to, when you're going through demographics, say in a whatever tool you're using, and I say Facebook specifically because there's always an opportunity to kind of drill down. They'll ask you what kind of company you are, what demographics are you looking for? Are you looking for homeowners? And so you'll get, a lot of that demographic information there. So when you get ready to do your feed, it's only going to go to the selective homeowners there. And that's just with most marketing campaigns, even if you were buying data to do a mailing marketing blitz, which is still a viable way of people. You get stuff in the mail all the time, especially during political seasons. That's still a way of reaching homeowners. Very pricey though, but this is an offer that's free. But yeah, that's one way of doing it. You can drill down on the demographics that you want. Same thing with if it's a spiritual nature as well.
Yeah, the thing about I've seen in Facebook too is you can go as big as you want or as small as you want, and the thing that surprised me, I guess, is you can even, if you want like someone who does what you do, so you can follow their people.
Exactly.
I thought that was really pretty cool.
Yeah, you can follow their people, and then Instagram is a great way of reaching people also because it gets them just at that one quick pop, and you're able to go in and say, you want to follow a lot of different people, and even if it's just an instant message that you have about one spiritual moment that happened, maybe it's a song or whatever it is, but it could be something that the audience is going to gravitate to. So it's a quick thing that's there, but it's a way of grabbing the attention of maybe a smaller audience that can actually grow into a bigger audience. So it's nothing wrong with starting small and then growing big. Sometimes we always want to have real big right away.
Big things,
But big, that's not always good because I've had that happen, and sometimes it could be overwhelming where you're not prepared to handle that. And you look up and you're like, oh my God, I can't, it's too much. And then it turns into, small and then big is good.
So when you're making a plan, a marketing plan, you ought to have what I call scenarios. So what do you do if it goes the way you want?
Sure.
And then what do you do if it's all of a sudden the hot ticket? Because you're right, because if you're only prepared to deliver 2,000-3,000 t-shirts,
sure,
but you've got 100,000 order, you could go down real fast. So you need to figure out as a small business, how are you going to do this? If this thing is really, really, really successful, how do you deliver the higher number in case this is the hottest great thing?
Sure. And so again, strategic planning is always important. Knowing who you might outsource something to.
Okay.
So say you get an order for 100,000 and you know your little production company is only prepared to print up to a couple of hundred at best, then you have to kind of think about, well, where do I want to outsource, because you want to maintain your cost controls, but at the same time you don't want to lose an opportunity to do this big order as well. So you always want to kind of have that in your arsenal, like, okay, it's just like, I can't prepare dinner tonight, so where do I want to go?
Exactly.
I want to go run over here because it'll look like it's homemade, but it'll taste good and all that, but I didn't do it, So same kind of idea.
Still go back to the party concept.
Go back to the party concept, exactly.
It's like, I'm expecting 20, but I better have it planned in case we run out of ice or something.
Exactly, and I have something else I can pull out in case people eat more than I think they're going to eat. Yeah, so having that plan B, I always talk to people, plan A, plan B, and plan C.
And plan C.
Yeah, definitely having that backup plan is so pivotal for success. So you don't like, oh my God, because you don't want anybody to ever say, oh, I did business with them, and all you need is one bad review. I'm the person who reads reviews all the time. When I go to look for any item that I think looks cute in, online, because I'm an online shopper, people do a lot of online shopping. Look at the competition we see going on right now with Amazon and all these other companies that are all, so online is definitely a place to be, but you have to really have a presence there. But people read the reviews, and so it's always important too, when you start your business and you do your page, get people to go over there and write a review for you. It's like, hey, go over, look at my page and write a review. Like, especially if you have some small people that are, you list of clients who've already maybe invested in your product and have used your product, ask them to endorse you. Endorsements go a long way, because when you're starting small, it's about word of mouth. And that goes a long way. I always read what people have to say, and I think, oh yeah, people say, yeah, well, I was a size so-and-so, and I tried it on, and it made me look like I was a size smaller, and like, hey, I like that.
I like that, right?
I think I want to buy that right now, It fits really good, it washed really well, These are important things, so you want to ask people to go on and kind of do that for you. So again, these are all just free ideas that you can have incorporated into your, business page, wherever it's at, that, believe it or not, that person who's sitting there on a Saturday afternoon, especially like last Saturday, it was raining all day. So many people were online. What else can you do, You're not going to go out in the rain. You can sit there and click and order and click, and it'll be there tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. It'll be there tomorrow, the next day at the latest. Right?
Yes, exactly. Right. So it's easy.
Right. So what are some things you should avoid doing? Because a lot of people, me, myself included, have spent just tons of money on marketing that didn't go anywhere. And that can sort of make you think that this is a good idea. And sometimes it's not that it's not a good idea, it was just the wrong place.
Sure.
So what are some of the things to avoid?
That was going to be the first thing I said, is that, if you have a budget, try to stay within your budget, just to kind of see, like, okay, if I just spend $50 or I just spend $20 or whatever that's going to be, because there's so many different things that are going to come at you that you're like, oh yeah, I could have a big, video program, and it'll be a big billboard, and it's like, it's only going to be like a couple $1,000s.
It'll be on the bus.
Yeah,
right.
And you think, oh, I know it's going to be great, and then all of a sudden you realize, I never got one phone call from that. Nobody ever, it's like, I just, so. Start small again, start small, and then go a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. As you start to see results coming in, and you start to see that number one, you're getting results, and the data will be there to show you, and then your phone will ring, and you'll have some people contacting you, because if something's not working with the plan you've gotten, you don't want to think you need to go bigger. You need to go back and retweak what you've done with your small plan, and then let that grow into a bigger plan, and then grow bigger. So we have a tendency, okay, small's not working, go really big. No.
That's right. Throw more money at it.
Exactly right.
Well, because you're reading through the internet, it says, "Oh, throw more money at it. Throw more money at it."
Yeah, go big or go home.
No, right.
That works in some areas, but not in the marketing.
Not in the marketing.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when you're starting out and you're an entrepreneur. Every investment you spend is an investment coming into the company, and so you want to be really conscious of the money that you're spending, because advertising money, you don't get that back unless you get somebody ringing on the phone or saying, hey, I want to order it. Otherwise it's just a loss, and nobody wants to eat a big $500,000 loss that's just spent on what? You got a lot of t-shirts, you got a lot of handouts, you got a lot of magnets, because all those stuff's out there, and then people, what do they do with it? I think one of the biggest ways people make a mistake when they do a lot of print advertising, and because we're in such an electronic mode today, I would say print advertising, again, depending on your audience. There's some people, like say if you're a party promoter, sometimes people like to still give out a print flyer for an event. They just like to have that. Me personally, I think it's a waste of money because most people toss that stuff in the garbage can. Some people might hold on to it, but a lot of people will simply, I get a lot of stuff sent directly to my smartphone. I'm part of their mailing list. If you're a party promoter and you're trying to get people to regularly, be at some of your events, it's better to be on a mobile media type event where people have said, yeah, it's okay to text me information and you get the flyer downloaded on your phone. You can save it. If I'm going to go, I can put a reminder in my calendar and I can move forward from there. Because that's kind of how people operate now. But a piece of paper is easy to get lost. So printers are kind of, they're feeling the pain on that because we're moving into such a digital age that a lot of people, paper, oh no, don't, you get your bills electronically, you don't want to get more paper, you just try to minimize that. So I wouldn't advise people going that route.
Even when I do print, because you need to have a business card or something, depending on what you buy.
Sure.
I do the minimum number, the minimum amount now.
Exactly.
Because you can always reorder if you need more.
Exactly.
Like you said, if other than that, it sits in the basement.
It sits in the basement, yeah. You just need the minimum order. I'm not a big advocate of that at all because, back in the day, you'd be, oh yeah, here. And, you'd have a file where you keep all the cards and all that. But so much is all electronic now. It's all there. It's just an easy way for people, oh yeah, let me just, but there she is right there, so.
Well, we got about 5 minutes, which really means about 3 minutes. So,
okay.
So have a social media presence and work that business page more than your personal page.
Yes.
Now, where are some of the conflicts you found in Facebook between people trying to have a business and then people trying to have a personal Facebook? So
what you need when you have a business page, what you really need to do is you need to be driving people to come to your business page. So every week you want to be, they'll say, hey, there'll be a little note in the box of your Facebook business page. They'll say, hey, invite friends to come and like your page. You want them to hit that like button. That's the most important thing they can do because once you click on the like button, then when you get ready to post something, they'll get that in their feed. Okay, so they'll be able to see what you're doing. So if they just come in your page and say, oh yeah, okay, nice, and they don't click the like button, then you really haven't accomplished anything. They saw you, but you won't be able to push out information where they'll actually be able to get it. So you want to say, come to my page and like me. Everything you see is click the like button. And that's why clicking the like button for your business page is going to grow your fan base or grow your followers. So that you can increase that. And then when you get ready to start, probably the peak time for me as a media manager, we usually post on the weekends because that's when people have a lot of downtime. They're on these social media outlets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is when people are relaxing, especially Friday. So you always want to have a nice message to push out to people on Friday. Hey, it's the weekend. Hey, something's happening this weekend, whether it's an event or even just a motivational message. Hey, thank God it's Friday, or, hey, whatever, just sending something out that's cute and educational and entertaining is good because you're entertaining. And remember, again, it's a party. You want to keep entertaining them all the time. You can't just let that page sit. It's got to be interactive. They've got to start seeing stuff coming from you all the time. That way they know you're out there working it.
Okay, then it's a party. They know it's a party in the business.
That's right. And they want to come. They want to say, you know what, I see her all the time. I'm always getting her stuff. I got to do that. And even it may take a while to get those people over, but the fact that they see that you are, engaging is what, we call it in our business. That's what they want to do. You want to keep them engaged.
Keep them engaged.
Yes.
That's the tip for today.
Exactly.
And make sure that party you have online is the same party that you have when they see you too. Okay.
That's right.
That's right.
Very important.
That's right.
Two have to go together.
They have to be to meet, right? So don't be mean and boring in person.
Like, wait a minute, I didn't see that on your, like, did you see? Yeah, definitely two have to go together. That's a very, very good key to point out, definitely.
Well, I want to thank you very much for joining me. This was like very, very exciting, and I even learned a lot, and I know that my audience is going to learn a lot too.
Well, good. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it.
God, this is wonderful. We're going to have to do this again. We're going to have like an all-out marketing party on A Sip of Inspiration.
Yeah. There you go.
That's right.
Perfect.
I love
Perfect.
parties. That's right. And to those who are looking at us tonight who have watched this show, remember part 1 has some very important tips to it, and part 2 is probably the most fun of the 2, but they go together. So you'll need all of that information. So I want you to be sure to go out and visit. And it is on YouTube, and it has been posted on Facebook, so will this one be, as well as on our YouTube channel. So I want you to remember, do not go gentle into that good night. Find a heel worth dying for and take it. I want you to be the person that you're waiting for, and to make today so awesome that yesterday gets jealous. And above all, do it your way. This is Stephanie Wilson-Coleman, the Empowerment Doctor. It has been my pleasure. You guys have a fantastic day, week, and a great life.
Life's too short to drink cheap champagne, so I decided to buy me